The sun sets on a coniferous forest, fed by a river in this parched landscape. The animals are slowing down without the heat of the sun to warm them, as reptiles have done for millions of years. But one does not. Slinking through the trees, a new breed of hunter stalks in the twilight. Armed with sharp teeth and claws, it darts through the vegetation, ready to kill its sluggish prey. It is among the first of a new type of animal. Welcome to this dinosaur profile on Herrerasaurus. I decided to start off this series at the beginning with the first dinosaur. Possibly. I'll get into that later. The first Herrerasaurus skeleton was discovered in Argentina near San Juan in 1959. It was identified and named by the paleontologist Osvaldo Reg when he got hold of the fossils after being confiscated by the Argentinian government. He decided to call it Herrerasaurus, meaning Herrera's lizard, after the Argentinian goat herd Victorino Herrera, who first spotted it, and gave it the species name Ishigualastensis after the Ishigualasto formation in which it was found. The thing has been named, and some other bones in the area have been identified as belonging to the same creature. Now begins over 30 years of debate on what exactly they found. Looking at it, you'd probably say it's a dinosaur. It's got 2 legs, 2 arms, and a mouthful of sharp meat-eating teeth. What's the problem? Obviously, the paleontologist who named it thought the same. He called it an early carnosaur, which then meant Allosaurus-like. But this certainly would not last. As more remains were discovered, things got complicated. So, here is a very simple dinosaur cladogram. Think of it as the dinosaur branch on the tree of life. There are several versions, but I'm going with the Benton classification here. The main split came here between the Sauricians, the lizard-hipped dinosaurs, and the Ornithischians, the bird-hipped dinosaurs. In 1970, Herrerasaurus was put here, an ancestor of the long-necked and long-tailed sauropods and prosauropods. In 1972, it was classified no further than Saurician. Later, some analyses concluded that it was a dinosaur ancestor, but not an actual dinosaur. Since 1988, when the first complete skull was found, Herrerasaurus has been classified as a basal Saurician, or a basal theropod. Herrerasaurus was similar to the first dinosaurs, bipedal carnivores. Walking on 4 legs evolved later, and plant eating was just getting going. What causes the confusion is what features are considered important to the different dinosaur groups differs depending on who you ask. Herrerasaurus lived at the dawn of the age of dinosaurs, and has some features but not others, muddying the waters a bit. What is necessary for classification becomes important. Herrerasaurus had strange hands and feet for a dinosaur. It had 5 fingers, 3 of them long and clawed, and 5 toes, the first and 5th small and not bearing any weight. These short digits would further shrink or disappear in later dinosaurs. Its long legs and stiff tail, acting as a counterbalance to its body, show that Herrerasaurus was a fast runner. With its snatching hands and grasping jaws on the end of a flexible neck, it would have hunted smaller animals to eat. This grasping jaw was the result of a type of sliding joint that some lizards evolved, but appears to have evolved independently here. The jaw slid forwards and backwards, which, with the back curving teeth, would have acted like a ratchet, pulling the prey further into the jaws. This feature of curved teeth with a sliding jaw is very unusual for dinosaurs. Examination of the eyes showed that Herrerasaurus was probably active during short periods of the day and night. This would have been an advantage over the reptiles, which would have been sluggish during hours of darkness. You'd think that the question, how big was it, would be simple to answer, but as all things with Herrerasaurus, it's not as easy as it sounds. While an almost complete skeleton has been found, it's a juvenile. The skull of an adult has been discovered, but it's unclear how the proportions changed as the animal grew. Because of this, estimates of the size of a full-grown Herrerasaurus range from 3 meters to 5 meters long. That's a sizable margin of error. Are we talking about a big lion or a big Nile crocodile? One last thing about appearance. Feathers. Was Herrerasaurus fluffy? Based on all that I've read, and unless someone has found new evidence that dramatically pushes back the origin of feathers, no. Herrerasaurus was not fluffy. Not all dinosaurs were feathered. In fact, most of them probably weren't. There is direct evidence that many were scaly. 2 Ornithischian dinosaurs have been found with evidence of quills, and the appearance of quill-like structures covering pterosaurs pushes the origin of these features back to the archosaurs. So quills along the back and the tail, maybe. But dinosaurs were just emerging. Theropods, which eventually did evolve feathers, hadn't fully set themselves up as a group yet, so it is too early for feathers. To fully understand Herrerasaurus, you have to understand the world in which it lived. About 252 million years ago, the Earth experienced a mass extinction. Known as the Permian-Triassic extinction, or the Great Dying, 70% of land species and 96% of marine species went extinct. It was possibly the most catastrophic extinction event to happen to life on this planet. The closest life on Earth came to annihilation. The survivors were left a world with a single continent, Pangaea. Most of the interior of the supercontinent was dry, rain falling near the coast but rarely reaching the centre. It was a harsh world, but one of opportunity. With so many animals gone, the niches they occupied were vacant. This led creatures to diversify and evolve new forms to make use of these new opportunities. The 2 main opportunists were the mammal-like reptiles and the group of reptiles called the archosaurs. From the archosaurs came a bunch of weird and wonderful reptiles, including the crocodilians, pterosaurs, and the first dinosaurs. Herrerasaurus lived around 228 million years ago, during the late Triassic, about 24 million years after the Permian mass extinction. The Isigualasto Formation shows that this part of Argentina 228 million years ago was a volcanically active floodplain. A river system fed a moist, warm forest of conifers that differed from the arid environment that covered much of the continent. Let's take a look at Herrerasaurus's neighbours from the Isigualasto Formation. Here I've compromised with a 4-meter Herrerasaurus. There are the other early dinosaurs from this time, Pisanosaurus, a rare beaked herbivorous dinosaur, and Eoraptor, a pint-sized version of Herrerasaurus with a possible omnivorous diet. Both were about 1 meter long and would have been prey for Herrerasaurus. Also on the menu are Isigualastia, Exeratodon, and Hyperodapodon. Isigualastia and Exeratodon were herbivorous mammal-like reptiles. Hyperodapodon was a beaked herbivorous archosaur. All 3 were easy pickings for an animal like Herrerasaurus. Isigualastia's numbers began to fall, and it eventually became extinct around the time that Herrerasaurus showed up. Some paleontologists even believe this was cause and effect. Other archosaurs from the area are Atosauroides, a low, armoured and spiked reptile, much like the later ankylosaur dinosaurs, and the crocodilian relatives Saurosuchus and Silosuchus. Saurosuchus was the top predator in the area, and Silosuchus has a worse size story than Herrerasaurus. The partial skeletons found suggest that it was about 3 meters long, but a large Silosuchus vertebrae was found, suggesting the existence of a Silosuchus that was over 9 meters long. Fortunately, relatives show that it was probably a beaked herbivore. Saurosuchus appears to have been a top predator, like many carnivorous Rauisuchians. Big, bad, crocodile-like animals that evolved a way of walking upright independent of dinosaurs could pretty much eat whatever it could catch, which, if the tooth marks on one skull are to be believed, included Herrerasaurus. Although not as big as Saurosuchus, Herrerasaurus was the most abundant predator of the Isigualasto Formation and the most common dinosaur. Able to run down and snatch small prey while being large enough to kill the larger, slower herbivores, Herrerasaurus was very successful. So much so, skull marks show that they may have fought with each other over mates, territory, or food. It was just one of a variety of evolutionary experiments that were being trialled in this new world, and its speed and unusual body plan were paying off. If you liked this video, show your opinion with a thumbs up and share it with others. Maybe subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Why not post a comment on what dinosaur you'd like me to do a profile on next? By the way, these are dinosaur profiles. No pterosaurs or marine reptiles need apply, and I will not be doing Tyrannosaurus rex in my next profile. I will be doing it eventually, I just want more experience so I can do it justice. If you want to further support this channel, I have a book available on iBooks. The Dinosaur collection is interactive, has original illustrations, and has a number of interesting dinosaurs in it, including Herrerasaurus. My next video will be on dinosaur cladistics, as a reference video for when we hurtle down the rabbit hole of dinosaur relationships again. I hope to see you then.